We're not delusional. We see reality accurately, right? They did an experiment in London some years back. Subjects were shown a video of some people sitting around a table eating dinner and asked to count the number of bites taken. About a minute into the video, a clown walks on, waves at the camera, walks off screen. The video ends and the subjects were asked, "Who saw the clown?" 75% of the subjects didn't see the clown and didn't believe the researchers that it was there. Holding fast to an idea that contradicts reality is delusion.
Dad?
Hey, bud.
What's up?
How are you?
Fine.
I was wondering if you could come up to the cabin today. I'd like to talk to you.
Today, why? What do you want to talk about?
I'd rather talk about it in person.
Well, I've got a meeting later. Why? Is everything okay?
Everything's okay. Meeting on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'd really appreciate it if you could make the trip.
Well, if everything's okay, why can't we just talk over the phone?
him right out of the city?
Into the valley and put him to work.
I love it.
I mean, we'd be killing two birds with one stone, right? No more homeless
Well, they'd
people.
all become millionaires.
And no more freaking hipsters flocking.
Hey, bud.
Hey. Do you feel okay? You look a little
creaky.
What? I can't stay too long.
Meeting on a Saturday?
Why not? It's my company.
Do you like it?
Running a company?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you guys working on?
All kinds of stuff.
Like what?
Designing apps and integrations for small businesses. We do some games too. Lately we've been getting into some bigger integration systems. That's where everything's headed. You still don't have a smartphone, do you?
No reception up here anyways.
Do you have dial-up?
Works for me.
Lose my mind.
Are you traveling much?
What is this, 20 questions?
I'd just like to know what you're doing.
All of a sudden? Yeah, I travel a fair amount.
Anywhere memorable?
Memorable. We manufacture in Guadalajara. Mexico, so I'm down there a bunch. It's booming. I'm thinking of getting a place there, actually.
Wow.
They make these sandwiches down there, these long subs. You'd love them. They drown them in chili sauce. It's insane. I'm totally addicted.
I was hoping you might stay the night.
Why? I have my meeting.
How was the drive up? They widened the road, did you see?
Yeah. And they put in that the plaza.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any good restaurants in there?
Yeah, I haven't tried any. Are you playing much piano?
No. You?
I'd love to hear you play.
No, you wouldn't.
You have a gift.
Had, maybe.
So you're doing well.
Yeah.
Last time we spoke, you were taking those pills.
That was a long time ago, Dad. I stopped that a long time ago.
So you're feeling more centered.
Yeah, whatever that means, I'm fine. I'm good. Things are pretty tense in the city right now. Everyone who's had rent control for forever, they're throwing a fit because their landlords are finally raising the rent, and the only ones who can afford it are the techies. So, everyone's crying about the city's changing, and I think everyone working in tech is loaded, which is bullshit. I mean, the CEOs are flush, but the rest of us are busting our asses.
Are you meditating?
No.
It's good to see you.
So what do you want to talk about?
Do you want some food or tea? I have some hummus. You used to love hummus and chips.
When I was 12.
How about this drought? Huh? You guys rationing in the city?
Not yet. I just take short showers.
Yeah,
Is your well dry?
almost.
What's the plan then? You just bring in water?
Hadn't thought that far ahead. I made that hummus.
It's a little too much garlic.
Do you want a family?
Do I want a family?
Children.
Do you need money? Is that what you called?
No.
And what?
Do you have any grass?
Pot. You want pot?
Do you still smoke?
No.
No. So you don't have any?
I might have a little in the car. Why?
Maybe later we could have some?
You seriously want to smoke pot? Why? Doesn't it cloud the mind?
If we smoke, you shouldn't drive
I didn't
back.
say I was gonna smoke. Why do you want to smoke so bad?
I walk. Every day, you know that.
Dad, I have no idea what you do up here.
I walk down the drive, east on the path, over the ridge, around the lake, and I go to the meadow. I can see the whole expanse from there. It's magnificent. When the fog comes in, it's otherworldly. Then I walk back the way I came. I've made that walk for going on 7 years, almost every day. Well, about 2 months ago, I was there in the meadow. It was clear, cold. I was just looking out. And I got up to go, and I couldn't get my bearings. I wasn't frightened. I just couldn't access. So, on a whim, I walked down across the meadow and into the woods. Came to a little path. I just wandered. And I came to a road, a little dirt road, and there was a house. And so I knocked on the door, and this sweet little woman came out and I told her I was lost. Well, she asked me where I lived, and for the life of me, I couldn't recall. So she asked if I had my driver's license.
For your address?
Yeah, I did. So we got in her truck, and she drove me back home. And on the way, she told me about her brother, who was starting to have these lapses, and that I ought to get myself looked at. So about 2 months ago, I went to the clinic in Rangeley. The doctor there, he ran some tests, and a few days later, he asked me to come in and talk about the test results. Well, he sat me down and he talked to me in that shadowy language that doctors use. He must have talked for about 15 minutes without saying a plain word, so I said, get to it.
So get to it.
I don't want you to worry.
Cancer. How bad? Stage 4. That's pretty bad. Like that's like the worst, right?
It is what it is.
Did you get a second opinion?
Don't need one.
Dad, you've got to get a second opinion. That clinic is probably small. You got to come
It's
down
a
to the city,
reputable
get checked
cancer
out.
clinic.
It's small. It's rural.
The results won't change.
You don't know that.
I can feel it in me. Throughout.
So what? Surgery or
It's too late for that.
then chemo?
Chemo's an option.
And so you haven't done it? Dad, you've known for 2 months. What'd the doctor say?
He said a lot of things.
So what's the treatment going to be?
There isn't any.
You just said chemo's an option.
It's my option.
Then why aren't you doing it, Dad? You should have started it 2 months ago.
It's amazing, isn't it? How a doctor can so casually hazard a guess as to another man's exit.
How long did he say?
He said a few months. Somebody's cutting cedars. Smell that?
A few months, does that mean 2 or 5 or...
Impossible to know.
So wait, you can do chemo if you want to, but you don't want to?
That's right.
But why?
Nights have been so clear.
Dad, did the doctor say it wasn't going to help, or...
Did you see that meteor shower the other night? I watched the entire thing from right here. It was like God was just playing with a sparkle.
Dad, what did he say?
He's just doing his job.
You in pain? Is that why you want to smoke?
It's not too terrible. Listen to me, Josh. I will not allow anyone to care for me, to irradiate me. I will not allow anyone to clean up after me, to spoon feed me, to wipe my backside. No. I will not take that path. So instead, I've decided to stop my own clock by my own hand at the time of my choosing.
Cancer's fucking with your head.
It is, but not in the way you mean.
Hi, this is Josh Pierce. My father Wendell came in for he was given a cancer prognosis. I was just hoping that I could speak to whoever he talked to. I can't do anything without your permission. Unless you already signed something, which I'm sure you didn't. So you'll have to call and they'll give you the options.
Sit with me, please.
Why didn't you tell me earlier?
Wasn't ready. Will you sit with me?
There are other treatments. All kinds of homeopathic stuff. We're not going to rule out chemo either.
Do you remember Gideon?
Who's Gideon?
Gideon, my dear old friend. He used to visit when you were little. Always wore red shoes. Still does. He'd drop by on his way from Japan or someplace. You remember?
No.
Gideon and I had lunch last April. We always eat at the same diner, and we always order the same thing, chicken fried steak. It's toxic, but it's so tasty. Well, so Gideon's talking as usual. I'm always happy to listen. That man has seen some uncanny things. So he was telling me about Nepal. He was...
Dad, are you going to call? It's getting late.
This story is for you. So, Gideon was in Nepal some months ago. He was taking a hike in a valley at the foot of the Himalayas. And he sees a group of people carrying a body. Naked body. Old man's body. He's tied up, head to his feet, with a rope. These people, 5 or 6 of them, they carry the old man's body up the side of the mountain. Gideon's watching from a ways back with binoculars, and finally they reach a sort of a clearing, and they put the old man down and cut loose the ropes, and one of them pulls out a knife, a big, they call it a diamond cutter, because it cuts through illusions. He starts making deep gashes in the old man's chest and arms and legs. The old man's insides are spilling out, and Gideon's watching with binoculars, and he notices that up the hill from the people, the vultures are gathering, big griffin vultures, wild, enormous birds. People, Gideon says, they're casual, and laughing and talking, joking even, burning incense. And all the while, the vultures are gathering, not 2 or 3, but 30 more wild, hungry birds, great scavengers. Finally, the people back away from the body, and when they do, those vultures, they swarm on that old man's body, and they start tearing it to pieces in a magnificent frenzy, devouring him. Gideon said it was the most extraordinary thing he's ever seen. That man has seen some extraordinary things. It's called a sky burial. It's considered the highest form of death in some countries, obviously not this one. In Tibetan, it translates to alms for the birds. Point is to dispose of the body in the most generous way possible. What I would like, Joshua, is to spend some time here, you and I, talking, just being together, talking about anything you like. And then after I'm gone, I'd like you to take me up to Mount Chase and leave me for the Coyotes. Is this new?
Dad, the doctor said he said that you might feel confused. Do you feel a little confused, Dad?
Is this a hybrid?
You know what day it is?
I'm in full possession of my faculties, Josh.
Yeah, I think you're not, though. I think maybe we need to go to the clinic and talk to somebody and get a real plan.
I appreciate your concern, but I prefer to stay here.
Jesus Christ, I can't believe I haven't done anything for 2 months.
There's nothing to do.
What day is it, Dad?
It's a good day, bud.
What day is it?
Tuesday? I'm kidding. What do I have to do to convince you I'm lucid? So you like this car? I know a real harmony is possible between us.
Harmony?
Yes.
No.
It may take some time.
You're unreal.
But I think if we both make the effort...
No! No! You... Jesus Christ, you asked me up here? And you asked me... Fucking Coyotes? I mean, you say that you're lucid, but how can you ask me that? How can you even ask me that? I mean, it's psychotic.
Could be liberating for you.
Oh, this is for me.
I know it's unconventional.
I'm not one of your students, Dad. I don't need a lesson on dying. I need you to wake up and be reasonable.
This is good. You've never spoken to me like this.
Oh my God, this... Oh my God.
I only want you to be happy.
Really? We haven't talked in like 5 years. You don't call. You don't come into the city. We don't even talk. We don't even talk on Christmas. And now, all of a sudden, you ask me up here. You tell me that you have cancer and you want to take your own life. What part of that is supposed to make me happy?
It's the part that allows us to reconnect. I'm ready to listen.
I don't need you to listen.
Anything you want to say. Let's use this
I run a
time.
company, Dad. You think I can just drop everything and
Could
come
you,
up?
after your meeting, could you come back
No.
here and...
No.
I understand.
And do what? You're gonna need nurses. You need help that I can't
It
give
would
you.
just be the two of us.
Well, you know what? That really sounds like a blast, but I gotta go. I gotta go. And you know what? You gotta call the clinic. So, I'll see you later.
How was your meeting?
I postponed it. So here's what I have to say to you. There are options. They're not pretty, but they exist. I can explain them to you if you want. At the end of the day, it's your call, it's your decision. But
Is there anything else you want to say?
if you want me around at all, then we're going to call the clinic. Because I'm not going to stay here and do nothing. You can do nothing if you want to, but you're going to have to do it alone. Because it's going to get hard. It's going to get really hard. And I'm not just going to sit here and watch you. If money's an issue, I can take care of it. The nurse or whatever, Medicaid. That's...
Thank you for all that. Thank you.
You don't want to hear the options, do you?
Death isn't a problem. I don't need a solution.
Why do you make everything so hard? Why do you do that?
I'm sorry if I made things hard for you.
Not if you did make things hard.
I believe you.
That's not an opinion, it's a fact. It's perfect, you know, that you and Mom didn't give me a sibling to share in the joy of your deaths. Really great. Why do you keep these up of you and Mom?
Why wouldn't I?
She left you.
I miss her.
I know it was true. The accusations about you and your student, I know it was true because Mom knew it was true. She said you quit teaching before anyone could prove anything, and that's why you moved up here. Is that true? How could you do that? Why didn't you just admit that you slept with that student? Why did you deny it and then judge everyone for accusing you? It just made it more obvious that you did it.
You can probably guess why I denied it.
So you admit it.
Yes.
Now, your life was one big con.
There was only one student, and she had left my class by then. Not that that justifies it.
I don't believe you.
That's okay. It's the truth.
It was so totally wrong.
What if I said you're right about everything?
I am right.
Yes, you are.
So what do you mean, what if I said you're right? Doesn't matter what you admit to now. You already fooled everybody. You know what I can't fathom is how somebody who makes his living teaching mindfulness and compassion and all that could cheat on his wife and take advantage of his students. I mean, to sit up there year after year and lecture about right thought, right action, right whatever, it's just, I mean, it's unbelievable to me. I mean, you just... Your students, they must have been so desperate and so stupid.
I doubt that I ever really fooled anyone. Just as I doubt that I ever really helped anyone. Because you're right, I didn't understand what I was teaching. Not that I realized it at the time.
No, you just thought you were enlightened. And so did your students. And you fed off that. I remember you'd come home all untouchable, like you were above everything, like everything that Mom and I were doing was just a pain in your ass. Like it was just proof of all the suffering that you'd risen above. Whatever, this is pointless.
This is perfect.
How is this perfect?
Sit with me.
You know, I never actually believed anything that you said or taught. I knew you were just regurgitating what the text said or what your teacher said. I mean, obviously, you didn't understand what you were teaching because everything at home was so tense. And the dedications in your books? I mean, how dense. I mean, Mom and I knew that you dedicated them to us just to give everyone the impression that everything was peachy on the home front. But to call us your greatest teachers? That was so bogus. I mean, didn't you think we'd think that was weird?
You were my greatest teacher.
How?
You opposed me.
Yeah, and then you'd get angry. Like if I was attached to my toys when I was like 5. Or if when I cried, you told me to observe my feelings dispassionately when I was like 7 years old. You wanted a little Buddha, a little egoless kid. But guess what, Dad? Kids have egos. You can't skip that stage. You could be an asshole and a phony, but I had to embody all the teachings. I had to be perfect, me and Mom, both of us. Or maybe we had to be all screwed up so you could be perfect.
You can say anything. I'm sorry if I hurt you. I was doing my best.
Right. Buddhism's get out of jail free card. That's so convenient.
I take full responsibility.
What, by sweeping 30 years of crap under the rug with a single apology?
I still have the tapes of your piano concerts. I'll listen to them.
You have fun picking out the mistakes?
No. They're beautiful. Would you like to hear one?
My hands would get so tight, I could barely fucking play because all I could think about was not making a mistake.
You are a natural.
Music is an extension of the mind. If the mind is disordered, disorder will manifest in every aspect of one's life. Piano is no exception. You wrote that in my first book of scales, and the second. It's very encouraging.
I'd love to hear you play. What do you want, Josh? From me?
Nothing. I want you to call the fucking clinic.
Can you understand why I don't want to?
No. Can you understand why I don't want to play for you?
You could sit down today and play. Every day hereafter. And it would come back. And then some.
I'd rather use that piano for firewood than play a single fucking note for you. Dad.
Oh.
What is it? Dad. Want some pot?
The great enigma about dying is that dying awakens you to life. I'm speaking about life, life force, the aliveness, the actual. It's beyond words. The enigma is why is this experience of waking, this grace, why is it withheld until the end of one's life? Seems quite cruel, doesn't it? The Buddha, Jesus, a few of the other great ones, they managed to wake up in the middle of their lives. Well, they still had good years left. What a miracle. They saw what only the dying had ever seen. Life unfiltered by fear. They saw it, felt it, and once they'd known that glory, there was only one thing to do. Try to help others wake up and experience it. Mostly they failed. Look at the world. Look at me. I spent my adult life soaked in the teachings that were trying to awaken me, but all I did was hold them close to me. Took comfort in them. Their beauty, their calm, their poetry. I loved the words and the ideas. And I waited for them to change me.
Dad.
What I can't decide is whether it's tragic to wake up so near the end of one's life, or if this peace is so that we can only handle a few days, weeks of it at most.
Dad. Dad. Dad.
Sorry I don't have another bike.
Dad. Dad.
unthinkably quiet. As we do, we'll discover more and more of what we don't know. This enhances everything. Our relationships are enhanced. Going for a walk is enhanced. Music is enhanced. Food, sex, just being is enhanced. But remember, we're not here to create a healthier self. We're trying to move beyond self altogether.
Finally got a hold of the doctor. Got an appointment at 9 tomorrow morning at the clinic. We're going. You can ride your bike if you want.
Look what I found. I used to let you win. Not anymore. Don't even think about letting me win. I want everything you got.
How many pieces?
7.
What were you thinking about when you were riding the bike?
Nothing at all.
I took a bike trip 5 or 6 years ago to Italy. Sharon and I, this ex of mine, we had just broken up, and I thought a bike trip sounded pretty relaxing, so I just took off work. And anyway, the bike, it didn't show up at the baggage claim, and I had to deal with all these Italian airline people, and I couldn't understand them, and they couldn't understand me, and I was getting pretty pissed. And then they started shouting, and everyone was shouting, and all of a sudden, this really, really pretty bad anxiety attack came on. I mean, I didn't know what was happening to me. I thought I was dying. I ended up getting on a plane and going right back home. Next couple of weeks, I mean, I really couldn't handle going out to the supermarket or anywhere. So finally, I went and I talked to a psychoanalyst, and he says it sounds like you might have social anxiety disorder, which basically means you're afraid of people. And I'm like, dude, I don't think so. I run a company. I'm not afraid of people. But he starts asking me all these questions. He says, do you like to socialize, go to parties, bars? No. Do you dislike eating and drinking in front of others? Yes. Do you dislike using public toilets? Of course. I mean, who does? Anyway, he has up my score. You all right? He has up my score and says, yep, social anxiety. And before I can say anything, he just stamps it on my record.
And what sucks is that I want kids eventually, but when they go to the doctor, they're going to have to fill out forms. And on the family history part, they're going to have to put that their dad has a mental illness, which is, it's bullshit. I mean, I took those pills for like 2 years and they just numb me out. I mean, I wasn't anxious anymore, but that's because I couldn't feel anything anymore. So one day I fucking stopped taking them cold turkey, but it's still on there. You just rode down the road naked on a bike, and I'm the one with the mental health record. Dad, did you just shit the bed?
I think it did.
Shit.
Nirvana. Would you get me some toilet paper?
Keep that on there. I'm gonna give you some space. Here you go.
Oh, whoa. Josh? I think I may need some help.
Oh, Dad, are you okay?
I
Oh,
can't
shit,
seem to
Dad, it's fucking orange.
engage my legs.
Should I call someone?
We don't need anyone.
I'm not trained for this, Dad.
Help me to sit up.
This is bad.
This is dying. Come on.
You really couldn't control it? It just came out?
You were talking. I didn't want to interrupt
So
you.
you shit yourself? Jesus Christ, Dad, get on my shirt. Dad, where's the pepper?
Nice shirt.
Why do you have one shirt?
I wore the robes for years, you know. After I stopped, I found it hard to go back to so many choices. But your mother wouldn't let me wear only one thing, so after we divorced, here. Put some hot sauce in there.
These people are specialists. This is what they do. They have steroids and equipment, and their only job is to help you feel comfortable. You want to feel comfortable, don't you? Buddha never said don't feel comfortable.
Do you still fly?
Paragliding? Yeah, when I can.
It must be glorious.
It is. And in a quiet way. It's not like skydiving.
What does it feel like?
It's like sitting in a chair, floating through the sky. It's almost totally silent, like you're tied to the wing of a gliding bird. It's like your tether's been cut. You just rise up off the earth.
Is it scary?
Huh. What's scary is coming back down,
Landing.
returning to the world.
No mistakes.
You do seem different. I want to believe that you changed. That you found some kind of peace or something. But I don't know if I do. I think maybe you're just saying what you wish was true. I think maybe what's real and true is that you're scared and tired. And maybe the only real reason you asked me up here is because there's no one else. You burned every bridge you ever crossed. You violated Mom's trust, you violated your students' trust, and you moved up here just to escape a scandal. And you've been hiding out here ever since, and I think you're tired. And I think you're ready to die now. And that maybe you want your death to be some kind of heroic
Swan song. Last gasp of the ego. Or maybe you just want to witness.
You're a good man, Joshua. A good heart. After I go, you do what feels right to you.
After you're gone, I'll have no one.
Don't be troubled anymore, son. Don't be troubled anymore. Singing in
Dad? What?
This cabin fell. The roof caved in, and the rain pooled on the floor. Finally, the floor gave way, and the weeds and vines rose up, and the walls went soft, and the windows cracked, and then the animals came. And then a man.
Dad.
He stood right here, where we are now. He stood on the old foundation, and he was dead quiet, listening to the wind in the woods and the echoes of my words. These words, which had almost completely dissolved by then. And more men came, and women, and children, and they gathered here. And they were sweating and starving, children are naked and brown, and one of them is crying, and then another. Because in the morning, the group will move on, but one of the elders will stay behind to die. The children will cry, but she won't budge. After they're gone, she'll say a word. Right here. There will be no fight in her, and no sorrow, because she knows. She'll just open her mouth in song, and her life will empty out. She'll float over the hills and into the ears of the children, and they'll stop crying and go quiet. They'll turn, look back, and after a time, they'll move on. You have everyone. You have everything. Every story is a love story. I love you, Joshua. Joshua, who will go on searching.
Dad? We got the clinic in an hour.
Enlightenment isn't a special state. It's just the absence of delusion. It's a little after 10:30 now. We'll sit for half an hour and then break for a silent